tell you, when I look at flips, one of the first things I look at is roofing windows, because that sunk cost is no return on investment. So if I'm buying a house that has crappy windows,
just to make sure that we're not going into a problem that we don't already know previously exists. So doing our due diligence in that regard.
All right, Anthony, we're talking about basically how not to make a poor investment choice, either whether it's your single family house or an investment property. When you're walking people through or discussing in your buyer's consultation around this topic, what are some advice you have for people?
First and foremost, before the appointment even takes place, if we have any kind of generated interest from home search data, we're going to look into all the background seller disclosure information that might be available. I'm usually also going to call the local municipality just to see if there's any kind of ordinances, easements, any issues or violations, liens on the property, just to make sure that we're not going into a problem that we don't already know previously exists. So doing our due diligence in that regard.
Okay. Some other things I think of on this is a lot of people pay attention, like the photo, like fancy stuff, like, oh, new kitchen, oh, new bath, right? Which are great, and those things do cost money, right? But a lot of times people aren't looking necessarily, and they do, but they kind of gloss over it because they don't think too deeply into it. But what's the age of that roof? I mean, a roof is like the same cost as a bathroom, right? So how old's the roof? Oh, the bathroom's new, but the roof's gone, right? Or how old are the windows? Anyone looked at window prices recently? Crazy. I mean, you could build a whole nother garage for the price. You could put in the world's most luxury kitchen for the price of windows, depending on how many windows you have, right? $40,000 like that. I'll tell you, when I look at flips, one of the first things I look at is roofing windows, because that sunk cost is no return on investment. So if I'm buying a house that has crappy windows, and I'm in the expectations I'm going to replace them, I got to get that house super cheap if I'm redoing the windows because of the price of it. What else you got?
On top of that, if you're looking, especially on the investment side, foundation's hypercritical. Like you said, you touched on roof and windows. I think just checking the foundation, splits and cracks are inevitable. The earth moves, that's easily fixable. We're looking at shifting block. We're looking at actual separation before we're going to make a long-term investment in a property, because that can get very costly, especially if they completely dig out and trench, things of that nature. So we're also just looking at days on market when we start shifting to like a purchase side, even if it is on the investment side. How motivated is the seller? Is that traffic moving in that area? Are other homes selling in that area? And trying to see, is that home potentially sitting because it's overpriced? Is there a deal to be had there? Can I work in concessions into the deal so that both parties feel like a win-win? There's a lot of different strategies involved there that we can implement in order to make both parties, feel like it was a win-win deal.
Yeah, and you kind of said this, but just to expand on it, but looking into what that city's master plan is, right? And if I'm a consumer, this is what I'm doing, right? I'm going to understand, where's the development going, where do they want to do, so I don't end up with a truck stop next door, that sort of thing. So if you have any questions, go ahead and reach out. Love to pair you with a great agent like Anthony. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, John.